Today we are going to talk about the brand new FIFA Pass that's going to be rolling out in 2026. We're going to talk about who it helps, who it doesn't help, and why a ticket to the World Cup does not equal a visa. The US says that it wants to welcome the whole world for the 2026 World Cup, but at the same time, it's expanding one of the most restrictive travel bans in modern history. So what happens when millions of visitors want to come to the US, and at the same time, our immigration policy is moving in the opposite direction, pretty much closing the door on all of them? Well, we are going to start off by talking about what is the FIFA Pass, and then we'll go on and answer some of your other questions. So, first of all, the FIFA Pass is not a visa. It's very important to understand this. What it is a priority scheduling interview. So it basically moves you up in the line, and there is a special portal link that you will apply for this visa. You must have purchased a World Cup ticket through FIFA in order to qualify, and you will basically be moved up in line in front of B1, B2 applicants who are waiting to also visit the US. So if you are a B1, B2 applicant wanting to come to the US, maybe you should just go ahead and buy a World Cup ticket and you can skip the line. But it is important to note that, the goal is to handle millions of visitors that are coming into our country. But as Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, has pointed out, this will move you up in line, but you will still go through the same vetting process. So what is the vetting process? Well, you will need to consult with an immigration attorney, but that means that you'll still be subject to all the grounds of inadmissibility, just like any other visitor coming to the US who is not part of one of the visa waiver countries, or ESTA. Also, what's important to know is the US, in preparation for the FIFA World Cup, has already hired a lot more staff and employees for these consulates, and the wait time has dropped for interviews from over a year to just a few months. Even with a FIFA Pass, you still must qualify for a visa. You still have to go through the same background checks, and you can still be denied a visa at the interview, or even denied entry after you're given a visa at the airport when you're trying to enter the US. And the Department of State has emphasized that national security and public safety vetting will still remain unchanged, even for World Cup fans. So, what does the FIFA Pass really mean? It simply means faster interview, but the same scrutiny. All right, so who actually needs a visa? Well, you might not actually need one because you might already have one. Remember, a B1, B2 visa, which is a visitor visa, is actually usually good for many years. You simply have to look at your particular visa that was issued, and you might be able to have multiple entries with that same visa for up to 6 months at a time. Also, if you are from an ESTA country, then you will not need to apply through the special FIFA portal, because you can simply apply through ESTA and enter the US, and you will not need an interview. However, also if you're from Canada or Bermuda, you do not need a visa. So if you do not fall within one of these visa waiver countries, or Canada or Bermuda, yes, you will need to apply through this special portal that's coming out in 2026. And it's really important for you to start planning now, not later, because you want to make sure that you have all the required documentation ready for that interview. Okay, now this is where things get complicated. In December, the Trump administration expanded one of the most restrictive travel bans in modern history, and it restricts all immigrant visas from certain countries, as well as tourist, exchange, and student visas from others. So what does this mean for you? If you're wanting to come to the US and you are from one of these banned countries, then even if you have a ticket to the World Cup, you will not be able to enter the US and attend the games. And I know what you're thinking. This is such a contradiction because the whole purpose of the FIFA pass is to attract millions of people and billions of dollars in revenue. But on the other hand, the US seems to be closing the door on the world and preventing those fans from entering the US. All right, now let's talk about the players from the banned countries. Can they enter the US? Yes. The proclamation, which has the travel ban, has an explicit exception for all athletes, coaches, essential staff, and immediate family members they are explicitly exempt. And also teams from the affected countries can still play. Matches involving those teams will still predominantly happen in the US. So essentially the players can come, but their fans cannot. And this is still not good news for the players themselves because as you know, most of their morale comes from their fans. So if you are planning to travel to the US for the 2026 World Cup and you have any red flag in your background, such as a prior arrest or conviction, a visa overstay, a prior removal, deportation, or any past immigration issue that you might think is minor, I definitely recommend you to consult with an immigration attorney before your interview so you can avoid being denied. And keep in mind that just because you have a ticket to the World Cup does not mean that you are protected from scrutiny.